One of the things I love about my job is that rosters can be full of surprises. This month I went from sunbathing in Las Vegas to walking in the snow in Anchorage, and now I find myself back in Vienna. My name is Caroline. On this channel I document my visits to yarn stores all over the world. Welcome back to Globanitter. This trip to Vienna also came with a beautiful surprise, but I will tell you all about it later. This time I decided to visit yarn shops that you recommended in the comments of my previous Vienna video. Thank you for all your recommendations because I love to discover new shops this way. I took the fast train into the city center, then the tram, which is honestly my favorite way to see Vienna. You get to sit, relax and watch the city go by. My first stop was Woll Habitat, which had been recommended by many of you, and I can see exactly why. The shop was very quiet when I got there. It was a weekday around lunchtime, and the shop assistant was very friendly. She spoke English, and I even discovered yarn I had never heard of before from South Africa, and I found a book that I had been looking for. And the books they sell are all in English. I just loved how airy and spacious and welcoming the shop felt. They stock mainly wool and natural fibers that are sustainable and mostly from Europe. They do carry brands from other parts of the world, but mostly from Europe. And they have so many workshops. Then I decided to walk to the second yarn store that you recommended in the comments of my previous video, which is Lanuette. Because it only opened a bit later, I had the time to walk 40 minutes to get there, and I was surprised because on the way I found a couple of other yarn shops, smaller shops, but they were closed for lunch. So I continued to walk, and then by chance I found myself in front of Pingouin yarn store, which is a store I visited on my first ever video in Vienna. And the store, contrary to the last time, was very quiet, so I had time to speak to the shop assistant, who also spoke English, to have a look at everything they had, and of course I bought some yarn. In front of the store, on the sidewalk, are all the yarn that are on sale. Pingouin feels like one of those long-standing yarn shops that have probably been part of the local knitting scene for quite some time. It is a very small shop, but super well stocked. So if you want to browse, I recommend you go there earlier during the day. A word of caution, the books and patterns are all in German. I finally got to Lanuette yarn store, and I can also see why you recommended it to me. It's a very nice yarn shop, very friendly shop assistant, and at the back there's a second room at the back, and she has cones with yarn from Italy, and that's one of the main characteristics of the shop. In the back room there's a sofa and a small table, and she has a large variety of yarn also. And one interesting fact she told me about Vienna is that in Vienna there are about 25 yarn shops in the city itself, and 10 of those are the bigger kind, like the one I'm showing you. So I still have a lot of work for my next layovers. Lanuette has a very unique atmosphere with mid-century style decor and a warm, slightly vintage feel. It's a small shop, but full of character and of course full of yarn. Afterwards, I had lunch next door, and it was a great recommendation by the shop owner. It was on the way to this last yarn store that my beautiful surprise happened. I was walking down the street, and one lady looked at me and asked, "Are you from Mexico?" It was a goosebump moment. She was one of my followers. And really, I went from making this video thinking, nobody's watching me anyway, so it removes the pressure, to being recognized in the street. I'm not sure I'm ready for it. But please do say hello if you see me. So I am sure you are wondering what I bought in Vienna this time, and I didn't want to buy so much yarn, but it happened. So the book I found in Woll Habitat is a book by Cecilia Campochiaro, Making Marls, and I've seen a few of her interviews. I really like how she thinks. She has a very analytical mind, and she decomposes every color, every stitch. I love the way she thinks, and it appeals to me as a pilot. I would love to get her other book, Sequence Knitting, but I haven't been able to find it yet. Yeah, I'm going to regret it because it's super heavy. I don't know how I'm going to carry it, but let's see. The other thing I found, and it's the yarn that I had never heard of before, and it's from South Africa, and it's Cowgirl Blues, Kid Silk. Look at these colors. And I have in mind a project. I'm not going to do it now, but I was thinking I bought some beautiful red mohair type yarn. It was before I started this channel. I had a layover in Prague, in Czech Republic, and the shop owner, also very friendly, was dyeing her own yarn, and she had this beautiful red yarn. I will see if I have a picture that I can insert in the video. And I want to make one of these huge dresses. I forgot what it's called. I think it's Simone something, that Instagram account, and my friends are all making it right now, so I think it would be fun to make the dress with it. In Pingouin they had a scarf on the display, and I thought it looked beautiful, and the yarn they use is this Kid Seta, so it's Kid Silk, and this is the best, the Creative Rico. I don't know if you see, It's like this fluorescent, sparkly kind of beads. I love it. I love these bright colors like this, and it's discreet. So let's see how it looks when I finish it. And in the last yarn store in Lanuette, there was a yarn on discount, and I've always thought this kind of yarn would be perfect for the Sophie hood. I made one a while back, but I gave it to my mom, and I think it would look really nice. It has gold sparkle in it, and she said, look at this, and she said it's a limited edition. So I hope I bought enough yarn. I've got 6 balls of yarn altogether. I'm sure you're also curious to know what I'm working on. So I'm still working on my very V-neck sweater. I just have 1 centimeter or half a centimeter of ribbing to do, and the body will be finished. I'm still thinking of what bind off I want to do, because it should be a bit elastic. So maybe Italian bind off, but I'm not sure. I need to think about it. And then it will just be the sleeves. And the other thing I've been working on is, last time I was in Las Vegas, I bought this yarn for a shawl, to make a shawl, the Moment shawl by Nitsizu, but I realized it wouldn't work. I wanted to see if I could make plain pulling with this yarn, and I think it's a success. So what happens is I cast it on in a way that the gray stays with the gray and the purple stays with the purple. And the pattern is like a cat pose. It's a Lovecats Cowl. So I'm very happy with the result. This is how it looks. It's not perfect, but it's my first attempt. And also I didn't have, it was already wound up, the yarn, so I don't know exactly when you open the skein how the colors were sequenced, but I think more or less, you know. I'm still at the learning stage, but I think I will finish this cowl. It's fun to knit, and it's interesting. I had such a fantastic layover in Vienna, and it was thanks to you all. And it was so much fun meeting one of you by chance. And after I finished visiting all the yarn shops, I walked back to the train station, and on the way I stopped by a church. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but there was an altar to the Virgin of Guadalupe, and I think it's amazing because, you know, it's from Mexico. The link between Mexico and Austria and Vienna, and it was nice to walk into a church, especially in these times. And also something I discovered, and maybe you can tell me, I found so many flower shops in Vienna, and I noticed last time I was there, but I thought it was because it was just before Valentine's Day that all the shops had their Valentine's flower. And I've seen so many men with a bouquet of flowers. There was a guy cycling his bicycle holding a bouquet of flowers. I think Austrian women are very lucky. So that's something I noticed. And tonight I'm dead-heading back, so I'm flying as a passenger to Incheon, and the day after I arrive in Incheon, my husband and I were going to Madrid for a few days to visit his daughter and to spend some time with his friends. And of course I am planning to visit yarn shops. So I will see you next week. What I'm planning to do next week, because I will be at home and I can film something, I'm going to talk about knitting patterns and explain I've had a few requests about this, so I think it's fun to use the time I have at home to do this. So I will see you for the knitting patterns, and then you will see everything about Madrid. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic week. See you next week. Mwah. Bisous, bisous.